in the same way that I'm tempted to find excuses for Russell Brand because I don't like him, so too I want to find in favour of Farage and against the banks because I don't like Farage. I think it's really important to fight against my instinctive bias. And so the preliminary insights of the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, said that data submitted to it by banks and by others suggests no firm closed an account between July 2022 and June 2023 primarily because of a customer's political views. Well, it suggests that that's really the word, and I find it sort of extraordinary that that's the statement which is put out after people have resigned. So, number one, and it may not be primarily because of customers' financial views. That may be a secondary issue in the bank's defence. So it's a very, very evasive statement by the FCA, and it's not particularly an honest statement. Farage claimed that his account was being shut down because of his political views, and the case is not actually being looked at by the FCA because his account was not actually closed. So again, it falls outside the remit. So running around the place waving a flag and saying, Farage has got egg on his face because Farage made a lot of fuss about nothing. Not true. Not true. Look at the words, look at the wording. The internal document compiled by Coutts showed that whether they decided to close his account or not because of his concerns, because of his political views, they were a source of concern. And they were taking into consideration also the fact that Mr. Farage's mortgage would shortly be paid off, and but it was the reputational risk to the bank of being associated with Farage that seemed to be the primary driving force. And it's very difficult to conclude anything other than that from that internal document. So when a decision was made to debank Farage, that makes perfect sense that it's in line with what was in that document. And the mortgage issue is a secondary issue. The bank could easily reverse those two. That's a bureaucratic dodge. But in the end, it becomes a bureaucratic dodge, not a matter of fact. Peter Flavel, Alison Rose, both resigned. If there was nothing involved in debanking, then I see no reason why they had to resign. They were indiscreet. We shouldn't know anything about Farage's mortgage. We shouldn't know anything about how much money he's got in his account. We were given so much information about Farage's private affairs. That is not the way a bank should be behaving. I think Coutts has behaved appallingly. I went into Natwest to get something done. I was advised by Royal Bank of Scotland to go into Natwest, and they treated me like a piece of ordure. And I will never go in Natwest again. I think it's a foul, foul institution, and it's not as if they were overworked. When I went in, there were 3 people in the bank. By the time they served me, I was the only one, and they still treated me like something that the cow had inadvertently brought in. The FCA has said that Farage was being overtly political, Farage accused the Farage said that the FCA had accused him of being overly political, and they're saying that wasn't the case. I think there's too much of a whitewash going on here, and it's not believable. In the end, our banks are not doing their job, and they can do whatever they want to try and disguise the fact that they're behaving badly. But in the end, who is checking them? It's the banks checking themselves. Oh, for goodness sake. Do we believe that? No, not a word.